edification, that education that lifts the mind. I found myself one day going through some of my old material, old things that I have written years ago, and I always keep a file, I always keep a record of what I have written or what I'm writing about. I always make sure that I keep a file, because it's important that I keep a file, because if I go back through it again, there's always something that really sticks out to me. There's always something that really, it's always a new revelation that comes out of the things that I write about and the things that I talk about. I always keep a record. Even my audio books and even the videos and the recordings and all types of things, I always make sure I keep a library of everything that I've done. And I will always go back and listen to some of the recordings. And I went back all the way to 2010. I recorded something in 2010. It was on edification, and it was different than what I would think of it today. It would be totally different. And because I have different definitions, and there are more information on those words, edification, edify, edifying, edified. There were so many different definitions on that word today. Even in the scriptures, there are different definitions on that word. And when I went back and I dug back into this, I found out that the word edification means education that lifts the mind. And back then I did not know that. Back then in 2010, I did not know that definition. And when I read that definition today, education that lifts the mind, edification, and the word edify means to build up, to build on, to establish a structure. And I was like, wow, this is awesome, because I can remember not too long ago talking to a young man, and I was sharing my first book with him, Mighty Men of Valor. I was sharing that first book with him, and I was before I even wrote it, it was just an idea, and I shared this idea with this young man. And the one thing that he said to me, who and what, where, when, and who is my audience? Am I just there to talk to the audience, or am I there to edify an audience and my readers? Who am I there to talk to? Who am I putting the book for? Who am I making the book for? Am I edifying myself, or am I going to edify people that read my book? And he said it not in that way, but he said it in a way that made me really think, what am I doing with this? Am I writing this book to edify myself or others that will read this material? And it really made me think, because now I have to write to build someone up. I have to write to build on someone. I have to write to build a structure, whoever reads it. I have the right to build and establish someone. So it brought me back to when I was reading it, and I was like, wow, this is so amazing, because now I got something new out of it. And when I was talking to the brother, he really caught my eye. He caught my ear. He caught my eye. And I was like, wow, I have to go back to the drawing board. I have to go back to what I had already established, or what I had already put together. So I had to go all the way back to the beginning, and I had to rewrite some of the things that I had written down. I had to rewrite some of my notes, because if I'm going to edify someone, I have to be in a place to where I can build them up. I have to be in a place to where I can build on them, that I can establish, that I can build and make a structure out of everything I write. And every time I go back to something, it's like edification for a person or persons in praying. You can edify also through prayer, through fasting, in your gifts and in your spiritual gifts. And I was like, wow, okay, I really got to get this, because I don't want to go back to something and I ruin what I have already written or wrote. So it took me a little while longer to bring forth the book Mighty Men of Valor, because now I have to build a structure. I have to edify the people that was going to read this book. I have to build something on them, their mind and the way they think. I have to lift. And I was like, okay, what can I do to establish this thing? Prayer, fasting, worship, studying, reading, spending time with God and meditating. These are some of the things that I had to do, because I don't want to edify myself in nothing that I do. None of the books that I ever written, all 7 books, was not to edify myself, but to build and to edify the people that are going to read it, that are going to listen to my videos, that are going to listen to my recordings. I have to edify them, not myself. And it really got me to really think of this system of edifying. It's a system to build up. It's a system to build on. It's a system to establish a structure. Edification, education that lifts the mind. That's what I had to build on. But all of this, I have to find my way through building a better connection with God, because now when I build that better connection with God, with fasting, prayer, worship, reading, studying, meditating, all of those things, now I'm building a connection with God, and these things shall come natural, because now I'm not going after self. My main objective is to build on others, is to build up others. That should be our main objective in ministry, That should be our main objective in everything we do concerning the Word of God. Focus.